What these tea brands are really putting inside the bags millions of British families trust will make you think twice before you ever buy supermarket tea again. Products, recalled after pesticide levels, exceeded legal limits. Plastic fragments released by the billion into boiling water. Banned chemicals found in brands, marketing themselves as organic and pure. And here's the really disturbing bit. Some of the worst culprits are the exact brands that market themselves as British favourites, premium, and even organic wellness. We're going to show you the 7 tea brands, what's really inside those bags, how the whole system is stacked against you, and what to drink instead if you don't want your daily brew to be a slow chemistry experiment. Tetley. Tetley is everywhere in Britain. But open a Tetley bag and you're not looking at proper tea leaves. You're looking at what the industry calls dust and fannings, the smallest, lowest grade particles left over after the better tea has been sorted and sold. Real loose leaf tea unfurls in the pot. Tetley's tea looks like sweepings from the factory floor. That tiny particle size means everything, good and bad. Infuses faster. And on big industrial plantations, everything often includes pesticide residues. Official monitoring in the UK and EU has repeatedly found multiple different pesticides on black tea from major brands. The levels may sit under legal limits, but that doesn't mean zero. It means acceptable for sale. Now imagine those tiny particles releasing residues into your drink, 3 or 4 times a day, every day, for years. To keep that harsh, fast-brewed dust tasting like something you recognise, big brands rely on blending and, in some lines, added flavourings. You think you're tasting rich, slow-brewed tea. You're tasting engineering, a product designed to deliver an identical hit, mug after mug, no matter how cheap the raw leaf was. Tetley still trades on heritage and habit, but once you know you're drinking bottom-tier tea dust from massive, chemically intensive plantations, the cosy image falls apart, and Tetley is just the start. PG Tips. PG Tips markets itself as the nation's favourite, but black tea from big UK brands, including PG Tips, has been flagged in independent tests over the years for containing residues of multiple different pesticides on a single sample. We're not talking about one chemical, we're talking cocktails. Each one may be under a legal threshold on its own, but no one really knows what happens when you combine lots of them and then drink them daily for decades. Then there's the bag itself. For years, many mainstream tea bags in the UK were sealed with polypropylene, a type of plastic, to keep them from falling apart. When plastic tea bags are exposed to near boiling water, lab tests show they can shed a huge number of tiny plastic particles into the liquid. Not all PG lines use plastic in the same way today, but a lot of older stock and some cheaper lines still rely on plastic sealing. So you're not just brewing tea, you're heating plastic, then drinking whatever it releases. Your digestive system now has to deal with micro and nano-sized fragments that were never part of the deal when tea used to be loose leaves in a pot. PG Tip sells comfort and familiarity. The reality is a highly standardized, industrial product that may bring extra baggage with every simple cuppa. And if you think that's bad, wait until you see what happens when you pay more for premium. Twinings. Twinings is the brand people buy when they think they're trading up. But Twinings is still sourcing at a massive scale from the same tea-growing regions as everyone else. Official European pesticide monitoring reports have found residues on a range of imported teas over the years, including premium brands. In some overseas cases, traces of chemicals like glyphosate, a weed killer at the centre of intense controversy, have been detected in tea products sold under natural or pure branding. That doesn't mean every Twinings box on a UK shelf is dirty, but it shows you something important. A gold box and premium price don't magically change what's happening on the ground at giant plantations under constant pressure to boost yield and fight pests cheaply. In recent years, jasmine and green teas from various brands, including well-known names, have been recalled in different markets when pesticide levels exceeded legal limits. That only happened because that particular batch happened to be tested. Most batches never face that level of scrutiny. So when you pick up a Twinings pure green or delicate jasmine, imagining some calm ritual of wellness, remember that you're still dealing with industrial agriculture, long shipping routes, and a system that only spots the worst problems when someone happens to check. Premium branding doesn't guarantee purity, it just guarantees a higher margin. And if premium doesn't protect you, what about the biggest global giant of them all? Lipton. In the UK, Lipton often shows up as the generic tea in hospitality and food service, the stuff you get in a conference urn or a budget hotel room. Because it's such a global product, Lipton has repeatedly been involved in controversy when independent tests in various countries found high numbers of pesticide residues on its teas or detected contaminants that shouldn't have been there at all. Past investigations overseas have flagged dozens of pesticide types in some Lipton teas, including chemicals banned or strictly controlled in certain markets. There was even a case where Lipton tea was pulled from sale in one country after harmful rare earth metals were found in samples. The company blamed the soil. That might be true, But that's exactly the problem. Whatever is in that soil ends up in the leaf, and nothing in the processing removes it. Dry, chop, pack, ship, straight into your mug. In the UK, you rarely even choose Lipton consciously. It's just what you're given in bulk settings. No one's reading the box. No one's asking where it came from. It's the perfect product for a system that prioritizes price and consistency over nuance and safety. If a global mega brand with that much money and PR still ends up in contamination scandals around the world, what do you think is happening with smaller, financially struggling names? Typhoo. Typhoo sells itself as a traditional British staple. The name is nostalgic. Older Brits remember it from their childhood. But behind the scenes, Typhoo has had serious business problems in recent years. Financial strain, restructuring, production challenges. When a company is fighting just to survive, what do you think happens to ingredient sourcing, quality control, and expensive testing? Typhoo, like the other big players, mostly uses low-grade tea dust and fannings from large plantations. That means the same basic risk profile, multiple pesticide residues, little to no purification, and a strong reliance on blending to hide inconsistencies. Some of the older style Typhoo bags have also used plastic sealing, adding the microplastic question into the mix. Is Typhoo uniquely evil? No, it's a symptom of a broken system. Commodity tea squeezed on price, sold on nostalgia. But when a brand is under financial pressure, cutting corners is almost inevitable. And any corner they cut, testing fewer batches, moving to cheaper suppliers, relying on lower grade stock, lands in your mug, not theirs. You might think, fine, I'll pay more and go organic and ethical. That must be safe, right? That's where the next brand really hurts. Pukka. Pukka is the go-to tea for the wellness crowd in the UK. The boxes look like something from a yoga retreat. People choose Pukka because they want to get away from the kind of industrial nonsense we've been talking about. In theory, organic certification should mean no synthetic pesticides during growing, but it doesn't magically remove every risk in a global supply chain. In 2021, several Pukka organic food supplement products were recalled in Europe and Asia because they contained ethylene oxide, a disinfectant and pesticide, that's banned for use in food in the EU. Regulators were clear that a one-off exposure isn't going to kill you, but long-term consumption increases cancer risk. That recall was about supplements, not their standard tea bags, but it proves something crucial, even organic. Ethical brands can have banned substances sneaking into their ingredients through fumigation or processing somewhere along a complex route from farm to factory. Organic tea can still pick up contaminants from polluted soil, from processing facilities, or from transport, and the bag itself, even if marketed as plastic-free, is still a processed material that can shed tiny fibres and residues into your drink when hit with boiling water. Pukka shows that paying more and chasing the most virtuous branding doesn't take you out of the industrial system, it just makes the marketing look nicer. So where do you go when both cheap and ethical are compromised? Clipper. Clipper is another name heavily associated with better tea, fair trade, organic, natural, unbleached bags, slogans about doing good. To be fair, Clipper has led the way on things like unbleached, plastic-free tea bags made from plant-based materials. That's a clear improvement over traditional plastic-sealed bags. But plastic-free doesn't equal risk-free. Those bags are still factory-made. The paper-like material they're formed from is still chemically processed. The heat sealing and manufacture still involve substances that can migrate in small amounts into your tea. And the tea inside those bags is still coming from the same big tea-growing regions under the same global pressures. Get yield up, keep costs down. Organic certification helps reduce certain synthetic pesticide residues, but it doesn't magically strip out heavy metals from soil, pollution from nearby farms, or all possible contaminants in drying and storage. Independent tests on better tea brands have still found measurable levels of things you would never add to a home-brewed herbal infusion yourself. Clipper may well be less bad than some of the others, but that's not the point. The point is that it's still part of a huge, industrial, global food system where your cup of tea is a commodity product designed to be identical every time, not a carefully curated, low-intervention drink. And that brings us to the real issue. This isn't just about any one brand, it's about the system behind all of them. So what should you actually buy? Before we get into why the whole system is broken, let's give you two real alternatives that sidestep most of these problems. First, Rare Tea Company. This is a UK-based supplier that sources single-origin, loose-leaf tea directly from small farms around the world. They publish detailed information about where each tea comes from, down to the specific garden and harvest date. No dust, no fannings, no mystery blends, just whole-leaf tea that you can actually see and recognise. Their teas are available online, and they offer sample sizes so you can try before committing to a full pack. It's more expensive per cup than supermarket tea bags, but you're paying for transparency, traceability, and actual quality. Second, Watcha. This is another independent UK tea merchant that specialises in small batch, single origin loose leaf tea. The owner personally tastes and selects every tea they stock, and they work directly with growers. You'll find options from India, China, Taiwan, and beyond, all with clear sourcing details. Watcha customers regularly report receiving handwritten notes with their orders, the kind of personal touch you'll never get from a faceless industrial brand. Like Rare Tea Company, they're online only, but delivery across the UK is straightforward and fast. Both of these options require a teapot or a simple strainer, not a kettle and a mug. But that extra 30 seconds of effort gets you actual tea, not engineered dust wrapped in chemically treated paper or plastic. Now, back to why even some of these better options still can't fully escape the global tea system. From the outside, tea looks simple. Leaves, water, done. But behind every box on a UK shelf is a global production machine. Most of the black tea drunk in Britain comes from vast monoculture plantations in India, Kenya, Sri Lanka and elsewhere. Huge estates, huge workforces, and huge use of agrochemicals. When pests threaten a crop, the quickest, cheapest response is spraying. Those chemicals don't disappear. Whatever is on the leaf tends to stay on the leaf. Then there's the bag. Paper tea bags can be bleached or treated. Older styles use plastic to seal. Newer plant-based ones still rely on chemical processes. When scientists tested plastic tea bags in boiling water, they found they could release enormous numbers of microplastic particles. And the safety net is patchy at best. Regulators do test samples of tea for residues. Sometimes they catch an issue and there's a recall, but that's a spot check system, not a guarantee. Most individual batches from most brands are never independently tested before you see them on a shelf. The brutal truth is that this system is designed first for volume, shelf life, and consistency. Your safety is protected only to the extent that it doesn't get in the way of that. So what can you actually do that's realistic in the UK? First, cut back on the worst offenders as a daily habit. If Tetley, PG Tips, Lipton or Typhoo are your default brew 5 times a day, treat them like occasional backups, not your main drink. Second, whenever you can, move away from standard tea bags and towards loose leaf tea. Real leaf tea, even basic Assam or Ceylon, brewed in a simple strainer or teapot, already removes one big problem, the bag itself. Third, if you do want bags, look for plastic-free, unbleached bags, short ingredient lists, and organic where possible. Next time you walk down the tea aisle, remember your mug can either be hot water poured over real, recognizable leaves, or over a finely tuned industrial product designed to be cheap, fast, and profitable. We've shown you 7 names to think twice about. Now it's your turn to check and decide whether your next brew is going to feed you or feed the machine.